Did you know that men's bodies hold hidden layers of sensitivity and emotional depth that many couples never fully discover? For years, society has focused on women's experiences of intimacy and connection, while often portraying men as simple or predictable. But science and experience have begun to reveal something fascinating, that men, too, carry within them a powerful center of emotion and pleasure that often goes unexplored. It's a reminder that even after decades together, there are still new ways to rediscover connection, closeness, and joy with the person you love. For many women over 50, this revelation comes as a surprise. We grow up believing that love and intimacy are chapters that belong to youth, that passion slowly fades as time passes, replaced by comfort, routine, and responsibility. But what if that isn't true? What if, instead, midlife and beyond hold the potential for a deeper, more emotionally fulfilling kind of intimacy, one rooted not just in physical attraction, but in trust, curiosity, and rediscovery? Think about how relationships evolve over time. When we're younger, connection feels spontaneous, full of discovery and excitement. As the years go by, life fills up with work, children, responsibilities, and aging parents. Love is still there, but it often becomes quieter, more practical, and sometimes, less thrilling. Many couples reach a point where they feel like they already know everything about each other, every story, every expression, every pattern. But the truth is, even after decades together, the human heart and body can still surprise us. By the time we reach our 50s, 60s, and beyond, we've lived through so many chapters, building families, caring for loved ones, facing loss, and finding strength through it all. Yet, when it comes to intimacy, many people quietly accept a slow fading of passion as something natural or inevitable. But what if that's not the case? What if connection isn't something that fades, but something that evolves? Many women describe feeling torn between loyalty and longing. They love their partners deeply, but something inside them still craves excitement, freshness, and the sense of being truly alive in each other's presence. It's not about dissatisfaction, it's about a quiet yearning to feel seen and desired again. And often, men feel the same way but find it harder to express. They might fear that time or age has taken something away from them, when in reality, the potential for deep connection is still there, waiting to be rediscovered. That's why this topic matters so much. Understanding the emotional and physical layers of intimacy later in life isn't about techniques or performance. It's about learning how to connect again with curiosity and compassion. It's about creating space to explore each other's feelings, reactions, and unspoken desires with openness and care. When couples begin to look at intimacy as a shared discovery rather than a routine, something powerful happens. They start to laugh again. They start to communicate in new ways. They begin to see each other not as the same familiar faces they've known for decades, but as individuals still capable of growth, surprise, and transformation. I've spoken with many women who say they thought their most passionate years were behind them, until they learned to approach connection differently. One woman in her 60s said, "I thought we had already experienced everything together, but now it feels like we're falling in love all over again." That's the beauty of rediscovery. It reminds you that it's never too late to feel new again. And here's something even more meaningful. When couples allow themselves to learn about each other in new ways, it doesn't just rekindle physical attraction, it strengthens emotional closeness. It heals the small gaps that might have formed over time, the quiet distance that routine can create. Every new moment of understanding becomes a bridge that brings two people closer together. The science of intimacy, especially in long-term relationships, isn't only about anatomy or hormones, it's about connection. It's about trust, empathy, and the courage to keep learning. As we age, our bodies may change, but our capacity for joy, affection, and discovery does not disappear. In fact, it often grows deeper. So, if you've ever felt like your relationship has become predictable, or that passion has slowly faded away, take this as a sign of hope. There is still more to uncover. There are still hidden layers of love, emotion, and understanding waiting to be explored. And once you open that door, you might find that what you thought was lost has simply been waiting to return, in a wiser, gentler, and more fulfilling form. Stay with me, because in the next part, we'll explore how this knowledge can help women over 50 rebuild emotional connection, strengthen trust, and rediscover intimacy in a way that brings lasting joy and confidence, no matter your age. When couples begin to rediscover each other later in life, something remarkable often happens. It's not just a physical awakening, it's an emotional one. Many women say that once they start looking at intimacy as a form of connection rather than routine, they begin to see their partner with new eyes. It's like the years melt away, and the bond they thought had grown familiar suddenly feels fresh and alive again. This change often begins with one simple thing: curiosity. Curiosity has the power to transform relationships. When you approach your partner not with expectation, but with wonder, everything changes. You begin to ask, what makes you feel loved? What helps you feel close to me? These small questions can reignite communication that may have gone quiet for years. They remind both partners that love is not a destination you reach once, it's something you continue to build, one moment at a time. For many women over 50, intimacy takes on new meaning. It's less about perfection and more about connection. It's about feeling emotionally safe, seen, and appreciated. It's about laughter that fills the silence and gentle affection that says, "I still choose you." That kind of connection doesn't just renew passion, it strengthens the foundation of your relationship. It builds trust, warmth, and gratitude, the kind of feelings that make love last for a lifetime. But it's important to remember that rediscovery doesn't always come easily. It takes honesty, patience, and vulnerability. It begins with a willingness to talk openly about needs and feelings, even when it feels uncomfortable. You don't have to have all the answers, you just need the courage to start the conversation. You can begin by saying something as simple as, "I've been thinking about how we connect lately, and I'd love for us to explore what makes us feel close again." That single sentence can open a doorway to deeper understanding. And once that door is open, something beautiful begins to happen. Couples start to let go of old patterns and expectations. They stop seeing intimacy as a performance and start experiencing it as a partnership. They begin to focus on what truly matters: connection, laughter, and emotional presence. What's truly inspiring is how this process affects both partners. For women, it can bring back a sense of confidence and empowerment. Many describe feeling more radiant, more feminine, and more in tune with themselves. They realize that intimacy isn't about looking a certain way or meeting a certain standard, it's about feeling connected, cherished, and alive. For men, this rediscovery often brings emotional healing. It reminds them that they are still desired and valued, not just for what they can do, but for who they are. It helps them let go of fears about aging or inadequacy, and instead, embrace a new kind of closeness rooted in trust and tenderness. When both partners begin to experience intimacy this way, the relationship shifts. The laughter returns. The small gestures of affection, a hand held, a shared glance, a quiet smile, begin to mean so much more. It's no longer about chasing excitement, but about finding comfort in being fully present with each other. And the beauty of this is that it doesn't stop at physical connection. When couples learn to communicate more openly and show affection more freely, it creates ripples that touch every part of life. Arguments become softer. Daily routines feel lighter. Even simple things, like sharing coffee in the morning or taking a walk together, begin to feel meaningful again. That's the real power of rediscovery. It turns ordinary moments into something sacred. There's also a healing that happens through knowledge. Many women say that learning new things about connection and intimacy feels like reclaiming a part of themselves that got lost somewhere along the way. They realize that love is not something that fades with age, it evolves. It deepens. It becomes richer because it is built on years of shared experiences, trust, and resilience. So, if you're listening to this and thinking that time has taken away your spark, remember, it hasn't. The spark is still there, waiting for you to fan it back to life. All it takes is curiosity, kindness, and a willingness to explore your relationship with fresh eyes. Whether you've been married for 5 years or 50, there is always more to learn, more to share, and more to feel. Intimacy at any age is not about youth, it's about presence. It's about choosing to see each other with love and appreciation, to laugh together through mistakes, and to cherish the simple beauty of connection. The truth is, the most passionate chapters of your life don't have to be behind you. They can begin now, if you let them. So as you move forward, take this as a gentle reminder: you are never too old to feel desired, to explore, or to love deeply. With patience, trust, and a bit of courage, you can create a relationship that feels not only renewed but reborn, one filled with warmth, discovery, and joy that grows stronger with every passing year.